I know, chasing that dough, hitting that road, getting that money, man. All I know, loading that foe, kicking down doors, getting that money, man. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it Christmas. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it Christmas.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is multiple fighters call out George Ferocious Kambosos after his victory over the takeover Teofimo Lopez. We're going to show one in particular, and it's Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia says, my return fight, I'll fight Kambosos. And here's...
Congratulations to Kambosos. A return fight, coming for you. All up. Let's go. Congratulations to Kambosos. A return fight, coming for you. All up.
So, Ryan Garcia says he wants to fight George Kambosos in his return fight. Shakur Stevenson's called out George Kambosos on Twitter. Devin Haney's already said on Twitter, like, let's make this fight happen, George Kambosos. And Vasily Lomachenko and Richard Coleman are fighting on December 11th. And I anticipate the winner of that fight calling out George Kambosos. So multiple fighters call out George Kambosos, Trill Dollar Bill. What is your reaction to that? And who do you think he should fight next?
Everybody's thinking that Kambosos is food, man. Everybody's throwing up the you know what I'm saying? They're like, oh man, Teofimo fumbled. Look, everybody know Devin is a shoo-in. Devin is a shoo-in. He has nothing to worry about. Devin is a shoo-in. He's there. All he got to do is, you know, get past JoJo Diaz. He can't overlook JoJo Diaz at all. Because this is one of those moments now. It could be JoJo in Kambosos. You know what I'm saying? Real, you know, never get too amped. You know what I'm saying? Go get a Linares and don't get luck. You know what I'm saying? Don't recover. You know, they got to be and still and y'all got and then these guys can't go in there and overlook Kambosos because then the same thing can happen to them again. You know. So these guys, man, I think that Devin is a shoe-in. All he got to do is get past JoJo, and if he does, then him and Kambosos will be getting it on for undisputed. If I was Kambosos, I'd be trying to get that fight in Australia.
All right, conspiracy.
Yeah, we had a lot of feedback. Yeah, actually, the only person I could really see getting that fight next is Devin Haney for obvious reasons. You know, if you notice, last night, the Zone never called Teofimo undisputed. That's clearly for a reason, right? So they're definitely going to try to unify all of those belts. And the only one that's missing is the WBC. So they're going to definitely – Eddie's going to definitely make that fight happen. So I see Devin Haney having the best chance of getting the Kambosos fight. But I like all of those fights, but I mean no disrespect to Ryan Garcia, but Ryan, you call out a lot of guys on social media, but when it's time to step up, you have another mental breakdown. So to me, it's like I don't really want to hear you no more on social media because I don't necessarily believe you. The other guys, I believe. I believe Shakur wants a piece of him. I believe Haney wants a piece of him. You know what I mean? And like if Lomachenko calls him out or Coleman calls him out, I believe those two gentlemen will want a piece of Kambosos also. So it's just, Ryan, man, you got to first prove yourself in the ring, man. It's like it sounds cute when you're talking, but you only talk on social media. You don't really necessarily talk with your hands. So, yeah, so Kambosos is in a great position right now. You know, he has, like, essentially, he's only missing one belt, which is debatable. But, you know, he has many options, you know. And so that's why I said congratulations to this guy because he became an overnight sensation. All the top dogs are now coming for his head, which is a great position to be in because now you can negotiate on your terms. I believe Caden said this, or maybe it was true, but I think it was true. He could be like, yo, all my fights I want in Australia. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to put on for my country. And if dudes really want those belts, they're gonna travel to Australia to go get those belts, man. So he put himself and his country in a great position in boxing, man. So salute to him.
TBE.
Man, the only fighters George Kambosos is gonna face is either the winner of Jojo Diaz versus Haney, and that's about it. I don't see him taking on Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia, he has nothing to prove by facing Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia has been out. He's been recovering from surgery and many surgery and such. But for him to go and face Shakur Stevenson, he has nothing to prove with that. That's just ESPN's plan B. And after that, I just don't see. It's either the winner of next week's fight. That's where we're gonna build. That's the build up after this this win last night. And if it's Devin Haney or Jojo Diaz, that's the only two fighters I see fighting right now. The other two, everybody else is relevant. I don't see Eddie throwing them in the ring with throwing them there with Tank just to lose it. It just makes sense to make Undisputed happen right here, where all 4 belts is claimed to one of his fighters, and he could just promote them from there on. So there we go. That's how I see it playing out.
First of all, my response to multiple fighters calling out George Kambosos is that just shows, to beat a man, you got to beat the man. Teofimo Lopez beat the man. He became the man, and George Kambosos just beat the man. And everybody calling him out is now proof that he's the man. He became the man overnight, and he shocked the world. But with shocking the world comes, people who don't believe. And I don't think that these fighters are believers. I think Shakur sees him and says, I can beat him. I think Devin sees him and says, I can beat him. Hell, even Ryan decided, hey, man, I'm going to come back. I'm coming back. Kambosos, I'm coming back. I'll fight you in my return fight, right? Probably, they want the status. They want, the tools, they want the hardware. And so they want to fight Kambosos. And I'm sure in their mind, they feel like he's an easier fight than Teofimo Lopez. But, and to Devin's credit, he was trying to get the Teo fight when Teo had the belts. But no one else was that loud about it. Shakur Stevenson wasn't calling out Teofimo Lopez, and Ryan Garcia wasn't calling out Teofimo Lopez. So to me, it's like, okay, they're definitely after like trying to come in and get the hardware. I think Vasily Lomachenko wanted the rematch, and he didn't get the rematch. And we always talk about keep that same energy. There were people who believed Teo shouldn't give Vasily Lomachenko a rematch because he didn't put a rematch clause in the contract because he thought he was going to smoke Teo. Well, Teo did the same thing with Kambosos. So now should Teo not get a rematch? And this is why I say, like, the fight should merit a rematch. What you do in the ring should merit a rematch. Like, in these rematch clauses, I wish they weren't all just rematch clauses. I wish it was like, if it's a close fight, we'll do a rematch. If it's a wash, if it's a knockout, if it's a blowout, then it doesn't need to be a rematch. It shouldn't be an automatic rematch. And so with Vasily Lomachenko, maybe he would have been more willing to. Maybe Devin would have been more willing to. I think the close fights we want to see rematches in, but when it's like one of those easy fights where someone coasted, we don't want to see a rematch just because there's a rematch clause in the contract. But with that being said, I think Devin Haney's the next logical choice. The Zone has a WBC. Right now, we have a disputed, undisputed. Depending on how you see it, it is what it is. There's multiple WBC belts floating around. We need to get them aligned. And maybe once we get them aligned, they can subtract. If you understand. Once the belts align, we can subtract the franchise.
Once the belts align, give Lomachenko back his franchise belt, man. It's only right.
No, get rid of the franchise belt. What do you mean give it back? Get rid of franchise.
Get rid of it, but give it back.
And Shakur Stevenson, you just became champ at 130. Slow down, son.
Well, just get rid of it and give Vasily a shot at the title. But yeah, I think Devin Haney. I want to see it. I want to see if Devin Haney can get past JoJo Diaz, then I think this is perfect. So that's what I would want to see.
Let us know how you feel in the comments section. Please like and subscribe and check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We are the Boxing Bros. The Brothers EP out right now.
You're welcome. You're all welcome.